Welcome to the TV Heartbeat podcast with me, Lee Jones. From 1992 until 2010, it was one of the most popular shows on TV, attracting up to 18 million viewers, and it is still popular today. With plenty of drama, heartbreak and comedy, Heartbeat had it all, especially when you throw in the 1960s music, the beautiful Yorkshire scenery and the classic cars. Think of this as the virtual Aidensfield Arms, and we're sat in the snug to talk all things Heartbeat. So grab yourself a baby sham with a cherry and make yourself comfortable. Today we are joined by the actress Lisa Kay, who played Nurse Carol Cassidy. In this week's episode of the TV Heartbeat podcast, I'm joined by Lisa Kay, who played Nurse Carol Cassidy. Carol was introduced in Series 16 to take over the medical side of the stories following Dr. Walker's death. She was the second of only two regular district nurse characters who were both Land Rover drivers, and Lisa was the sixth longest serving female cast member. Carol had brief flings with two of the Aidensfield Bobbies and one of the doctors, and she was very popular with the other characters in the show, except for perhaps Rachel Dawson. She was adopted as a baby. She had a trip to Australia, and she also delivered a few babies along the way, including some piglets thanks to Peggy Armstrong. Lisa starred in 3 full series and was in the final pub scene when the show ended. So a big welcome to you today, Lisa.
Hello there. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. So Carol sort of got up to a lot in her 3 series. How did that introduction sound to you and all the things she got up to?
Yeah, it was great. One of the piglets was one of my favourite days of filming. I grew up on a farm where we had piglets, so I felt very at home. My dog's just scratching at the door because I've closed it because he wants to come in. Might just have to
All right.
let him in.
Yeah.
Sorry,
He can join in.
He can join in, my little whippet. He's very Yorkshire. Come on in, silly boy. So that was, I felt very at home, whereas a lot of actors are kind of like, oh, what do we do? And I was like, I know exactly what to do. I used to do this. So, yeah.
Oh, but it's great fun. But before we talk about Carol, you played another character called Emma in series 14.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
Well, my mother was still alive when I played Emma, so that was really nice because my parents and I grew up and was in the next village, Levisham.
Yeah.
So my
Right.
parents still have a house. Well, my stepfather still has a house there that I grew up in, and so I was able to stay at home, and my mum would help me with my lines, and then come over, and she would sit in the
Oh,
Rally and Spout, waiting for me to finish filming, and then so she was very excited about that because we grew up with
lovely.
Heartbeat. So when I first
Yeah.
went off to drama school, she said, "Oh, maybe you'll get a job in Heartbeat."
Oh, wow.
So this
You
was
had, yeah,
full circle
you
for
had a few good scenes. You had a few good scenes in that one on Whitby Pier, I remember.
her. Oh yes, with the baby
Quite
being
dramatic
over
ones.
the railings, yeah. So
Yeah. I
nice.
mean, what are scenes like that like to film? Because you must have a lot of crowds around you and the
Yeah,
weather to contend with.
yeah, it's obviously more difficult doing exterior scenes. I didn't have that many as Carol, to be honest, except for in the village there were a few, and we'd have crowd control. But you would get the odd person who would sneak past the crowd control and come and stick a phone in your face and just take a photograph, passing or anything like that, which is a bit odd. But
Yeah.
yeah, you get the bus tours over, which was, it's nice to meet everyone. Um, but it did make the day go slower, obviously, because of noise and traffic and all the other elements that they have to control, planes and things like
Yeah.
that going over.
So much goes into it.
Yeah, so when you're filming in the studio, you get a lot more done in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit more controlled, I would think.
Yeah.
So, was playing Emma sort of how you got the part of Carol?
Well, I think possibly yes, because I think I was considered for the role of Carol because of doing Emma, even though that's weird to played two
Yeah.
different people in the same show.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a few people did as well.
Yeah,
But I suppose they knew you and perhaps
yeah.
could see
Well, the
could see you playing Carol.
director Roger Bamford, who directed me in the series, in the episode that I played Emma, was there on my screen test for Carol. So I think he possibly had a lot to say,
Ah,
a lot of
right.
input. So yeah,
Yeah. Do you know
obviously.
anybody who you were up against for Carol?
Oh God, I can't remember now. Um, oh yes, there was four of us in the end. And oh God, what's her name? Sorry, my brain is at the end of the day just goes. Can't remember. I'm terrible. Um, what's her name? It'll come to me, and I'll tell you. She was in Emmerdale, I think, for a while. Um, trying to
Ah, right.
find her. No, it'll come to me. But
Yeah, I'll come to you.
yeah. So there was four of us in the end, and um, poor Jonathan had to do the scenes over and over with the four of us.
Ah, right. So it was Jonathan who you
Yeah,
did the screen
yeah,
test with.
the screen test, yeah, with him. So we could come to the studio, and one of us would go in at a time and do the same scene, and they'd film it as if you were filming the show, so on set. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Would you be in costume for things like that, or just as you are? Or how?
No, just what we turned up in. So
Ah, right.
yeah, you weren't in costume. Although then they would do a hair and makeup. They'd do hair and makeup for you, but you wouldn't be in costume. No.
Do you remember your first day filming Carol
God,
and
do
your
I remember?
first scene?
Yes, I do. My first scene. Oh God, because I not long lost my mum to cancer, and my first scene was as Carol visiting a farmer's wife who was dying of cancer.
Yes.
And so that was really tough because it was still all very raw. It was only a few months that she died. And I'd looked after her for her last 3 weeks of her life at home. Um, so, I mean, talk
Oh, it's
about
quite
life
raw.
imitating art, imitating life.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I had a moment where I don't think it didn't hit me when I read the script, but being on set and being in the moment, I had to kind of go into the bathroom of this farmhouse that we're in and just have a moment because I just was
Oh,
on the edge, to kind of gather myself
yeah.
and then be able to do it. But it was a tough day. And I was like, oh my God, of all the scenes to do, you know.
Not the best ideal.
Yeah.
Um,
Hard one.
were you given like a mentor? Or was anybody like a mentor to you amongst the other cast members in those early days?
Um, Not really. I mean, no, it was quite hard coming in as the new person because they've
Right.
all been together, for so long.
Yeah.
Um, and, working together, and some of them have been on the show since, day squat. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so it is I think and also you're filling the shoes of the last medical person who was playing the medical role, the last nurse. And so there's kind of like, oh, all right, then what are you going to do then? Just there's a bit of that,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is, being the
Some
new
big
girl,
shoes to fill.
find your feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, everyone was lovely and everyone is, very friendly and nice. And so,
Were you given the backstory about Carol?
yes. So yeah, I was given all the backstory about, the fact that she was grew up, was, well, not an orphan, but was adopted, and the mother, thinking the mother was dead, but not dead, and all of that. So yeah, you're given your story arc really. They
Yeah.
don't really, but also they're writing your character as you go along. So in a way, you have a little bit of input in I suppose how you start playing that character might influence how the writers then might take her in one direction or
Yeah,
another.
yeah. Because she had a fiance to start with, and nothing ever came of that either, did it?
No, we never saw him, did we?
No, I wonder why they decided to do that.
I know. Well, I think because it was a rotating group of writers as well. I
Yeah,
think some things get dropped. Some
yeah,
ideas that might have been one writer's idea, then when it's taken over by another writer, it might get forgotten about
yeah. I
or
suppose that.
dropped.
Yeah,
So
that
there are a
sounds about
few
right.
little loopholes, I think, that um, happened like that.
I suppose it gives the writers different options along the way as to which way to take the character.
Yeah, exactly,
There's things they
exactly,
can pick up on or add or drop.
exactly.
Did you like Carol
I
as a
did,
character?
Carol. I thought her name, Carol Cassidy, reminded me. I thought like I should be on one of those Val Doonican show on the high stool with a guitar on a 70s dress. I don't know, country western singing. That's what her name kind of reminded me of. But
But I thought she's a really strong character. She didn't take any nonsense at all, did she?
no, absolutely. And do you know the one thing I really miss from the shows? I miss my Land Rover. I really miss
Oh
my Land
yes,
Rover. I loved my Land Rover.
that was a lovely. I found out recently that actually lives quite nearby to where I live, so I'm going to try and track it down and see if I can
Oh,
go and see
really?
it. Yeah, it's a lovely
Sell
vehicle,
it
isn't
to me.
it?
I can afford it or ship it over to Australia. But
Yeah, well, they've gone up in price now. I think it's probably about 25,000 or something ridiculous like that.
I know.
But I'm sure I read somewhere that the crew used to use your Land Rover to transport equipment and things as well. I
Did
think it
they?
was quite multi-purpose.
I
Yeah, I'm
was
sure I read that somewhere. I
really
might be
using
wrong.
my lender of things like that. I bet.
You didn't give them consent. Yeah, yeah, because you use it quite a lot. I think you went off road a couple of times as well, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Quite
Yeah.
clever, actually. I think you'll find in that Land Rover.
And what about your costumes? What did you think of your costumes?
Oh well, it was quite funny because I think the first costume for the first episode they gave me then got taken away, and I had a hat on the first scene,
Yes, you did. Yeah.
first episode, and then it got taken away. The hat went, and the dress lost a few inches from the hem. So I was like, oh,
All
okay.
right. You can see what they're doing there.
You're doing there, yeah. So
Oh, brilliant. And Carol obviously had a few love interests.
she did.
Rob Walker, Dr. Chris Oakley, Joe Mason.
I know.
Um, she got around a bit.
Got about it, didn't she? I know.
Yeah. Who do you think was best suited to her?
Um, Probably Rob Walker. I think.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it was him she liked the most, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
I
Yeah, I think so. But
I
yeah,
loved the scene when he left and Carol was as sharp as ever when Rachel turned up at the village hall.
yeah. I
You had
love.
some great scenes together.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. What were they like to play?
Well, great fun because Claire's lovely, and we got on really well. So it was always fun to kind of play with her.
Yeah. She also played another character before playing Rachel as well, so it's similar to what you did
Who did
with
she
Emma.
play?
She played a nurse. Oh, I think it might have been the same series as yours, which was series 14.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she played a nurse, and then it must have been in a very similar way to you when they brought her back because they'd seen her before, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there was some great. I think there was one scene which was quite fun where Joe Mason had slept with her one night, and then Carol rocked up the next morning,
Yeah.
caught them out.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and then I think,
I struggled doing scenes with Joe Mason because he just used to make me laugh all the time.
yeah,
We weren't funny, we got on very well, but we were gigglers. He's such a giggler.
is he really?
Yeah, he really is. and
Do you-
he tries to make you giggle as well. So
yeah.
I'm a giggler. So the two of us together were just it was terrible.
Oh, it must be quite hard, especially when in those scenes when you've got to be pretty serious.
Yeah, we were
So
getting
to
quite
see,
in
yeah.
trouble for laughing.
Oh. What other standout episodes have you got, or standout moments?
Well, I think it has to be when I came to Australia to do the two episodes we did in Australia, which I know probably aren't the most popular ones with die-hard Heartbeat fans because they like the Moors and things. But
Yeah.
for me, it's where I met, the love of my life who I'm here with now. So very special.
So, yeah, I think you're right there. They're not the most popular ones, but
No,
it does give the show a real different side, doesn't it? I think it worked.
yeah. And I think when Heartbeat, I remember the producer telling me when the Heartbeat first started, um, it was very, very popular over here in Australia. Like they would have crowds of people following them around. They when they
Yeah.
came to it was really popular. Um, but yeah, so it
How
was.
long were you over there for filming?
We were filming for 2 weeks, but I came over. I had a week off before we were filming, so I flew out early so that I could spend some time in Sydney because we were filming up on the Gold Coast. So I went to Sydney
Right.
first, and then Joe McFadden. I was in the hotel. Joe McFadden came knocking on my room, and I thought it was room service, and there he was with his suitcase going, "They've got no rooms left. Can I come and bunk with you?" Oh my god, are you kidding me? So yeah, he rocked up early as well, and then we met Claire at Sydney Airport. Was it Brisbane? No, Brisbane Airport, I think it was. And then we all got a car all the way down to the Gold Coast from Brisbane to the Fox Studios. No, sorry, Warner Brothers Studios, which is where my partner opened the door to the car, which is when I first met him. Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Oh, that's amazing. So if it wasn't for those episodes, you would never have met him.
No, and I very nearly didn't do a third series, um, and my agent went, "Oh, well, they're going to fly you to Australia," and I went, "Oh, go on, then I'll do one more year."
Twisted your arm.
I always want to go, and he very nearly didn't do the job because he'd just come off, I think it was Wolverine, and he'd been away for 6 months, and his friend went, "Oh, go on, it's only a 2-week job." So both of us very
Yeah.
nearly didn't do the job and very
Yeah.
nearly didn't meet each other. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. How do you think it went down with the other cast
Oh,
members because they didn't
it
get to go?
was a bit awkward because we were the only three out of all of them went. So people like who had been much more, and we were all newbies as well.
Yeah.
Relatively, we'd only been doing the show for 2 years. So, well, Claire and I would only be doing it for 2 years. Joe for 1.5, I think, at that point. And so, yeah, people who had been on the show for 18 years, 16 years, or whatever it was at that time, slightly kind of like, this isn't fair, which, I would have felt exactly the same. But then I
Yeah.
was kind of like, ooh, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Um, Another one that stands out for me is when Carol's fake mother turned up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was, yeah, I really enjoyed filming that episode as well. Yeah.
Yeah, quite some
It was
quite tough scenes.
challenging. Yeah, tough scenes and just really good actors. We had really great guest artists.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to play off other actors
Yeah.
who are established and really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was and it was also nice to have because sometimes I think when you're a regular in a show, particularly like Heartbeat, it's the guest artists who come in with the drama and the storyline, and you're kind of feeding that or facilitating that. So to have, either I'm going, "Oh, you're ill, let's get you to hospital," "Oh, you've fallen over," "Oh, you've got an accident in your arm,"
Yeah.
whatever.
It was your
Whereas when
story.
about your story, then it's obviously far more fun and far more interesting to play.
Yeah, I think for me that's probably my favorite Carol episode. I think it's a great one, really good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and you were knocked over the head and tied up at one point as well.
I
Do you remember?
was. Oh my God, there's an awful there's an awful thing about that, because there was a somebody. I mean, there are just strange people, obviously, in the world, especially on the internet. Had done a montage of actresses who had been tied up and gagged. Me being one of
Oh,
them. I know, really weird.
oh, that is odd.
That is very odd. Yeah.
Oh, there are lots
And
of
sent it
people.
to me,
Lots
and
of
I was
odd
like,
people.
"Oh no, that's not that's that's not flattering."
You don't want to see that.
No thanks. Thank you, but no thanks. You can keep
Yeah.
that.
The TV Heartbeat Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at TV Heartbeat, Instagram TV.Heartbeat, Facebook The Heartbeat Vehicle Owners Group, and TikTok Heartbeat TV. This is where you'll find the best Heartbeat content and news.
Going back to guest stars, who were your favourite guest stars to work with?
Oh God. Oh, I can't say. There's too many. Too many, and it would be unfair to say one over another, because all of them were brilliant. We were so lucky in that respect to have, everybody wanted to do Heartbeat, which was great. It was kind of like
Yeah,
one of the last institutional shows, I suppose, that
yeah,
where everyone was treated. It was a bit old school, that you were treated really well, and you know, it was just a lovely gig to do. So everyone was just like,
y-
"Yeah, I'll do a Heartbeat," and we
yeah.
had 2 weeks to shoot an episode. So sorry, a week to shoot. A week we shot an episode. Oh God, I can't remember now. It was either 1 or 2 weeks. Can't remember. It was that long ago. It's not funny. Forget. But it wasn't rushed. It wasn't a sausage factory like a lot of soaps are very rushed, and you're shooting like 3 episodes all at once with different crews in at the same time in the same week. Whereas you just focus on, they would have a read through. It was very old school. Monday we'd have the read through, and then we'd have start filming, and it was paced nice and slow, so that you could give it
Yeah,
time. And so it was a nice job for people to do, I think. And so we were lucky in just the pool of actors we were managed to work with. We were lucky enough to get.
yeah, yeah. I think there's some quite really big names over the years, didn't they?
Yeah, really big names over the years. It's
Yeah.
yeah, and weirdly, when I was still at drama school, I did a radio play with Neve Cusack, who was obviously the first nurse.
Yeah, first Doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think we've
So,
probably got that.
so it was. I did my very first one.
At this point, the signal that I had in Gothland failed, so I continued my chat with Lisa by typing out the questions and she read out the answers.
Oh, you can hear and see me. I cannot. You're stuck, and I can't hear you. Hilarious. So I
Right.
can't hear any questions. Why don't you type me some questions and I can answer them? I worked out who it was that was up for the role of Carol. One of the four was Sally Ann Matthews, who I think she did Emmerdale, Coronation Street, one of the two. Anyway, she then did do a role in Heartbeat later, and we had a real giggle and blast together, and we're still friends today. So Corrie, that's right. She did Corrie. You're right. I'm reading your messages as they come up. This is fun for everyone, isn't it? Come on, type faster. Oh, working with Peter Benson. Oh my God. Peter Benson was one of the nicest human beings you could ever possibly meet. Such a loss when he died, and so very sad. He was very popular with everybody. Everybody loved Peter. Yeah, really, really sad. Such a delightful, lovely, lovely man. We had lovely scenes. I always loved doing my scenes with Peter. He was just a total gent and a wonderful, gentle actor. Lovely. Yeah. He did. He wanted me to be his daughter. Oh, God. Heartbreaking. He did. Yeah. We got on really well. It was, and I think that's what I mean about when you're acting in a show that's been written as you're, working through it, that the relationships that you naturally have with other actors, like the relationship I had with Peter, probably inspires the actors to then write that fact that he wanted Carol to be his daughter. We had that relationship that you could, the chemistry that you can't kind of fake on screen. And I think possibly, yeah, I have a very, very fond memories of him. Oh, Gwen Taylor. Yeah, she used to have these teeth, bless her, that she'd have to put in all the time for her character's teeth. She was great fun, really good fun, and a wonderful actor as well. Derek, oh, lovely Derek. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and Bill, wonderful. All of them wonderful. Yeah, I'd worked years before with Derek's, I think it was his stepson. Stepson or son, I don't know, I think he was a stepson. He was a crew member, and so I had a connection with him before I started the show. But yeah, all of them, just, who are my best pals in Heartbeat? Rupert Ward-Lewis, I went to drama school with. So I was thrilled when he got the job. And the three of us, Joe, me and Rue, all got on really well together and hung out a lot. And now Vanessa got together with Leon, and I'm still in fact, I saw Vanessa when I was over in London last. So I'm still in contact with a lot of them, which is really nice. But yeah, Rupert and Joe, I think I hung out with the most. Any other characters you think would have been fun to play? For me, I think Rosie was quite fun to play. She's a bit of a tomboy. I think I'm always more drawn to tomboy characters than feminine characters. I don't like the pressure of having to be pretty or sexy or any of those things that actresses are, expected of. I much prefer to be. I think that's why I love my Land Rover so much. Grew up on a farm, love being in wellies, love dogs, love rumbling around in an old battered old Land Rover. So yeah, I think Rosie would be the one I'd want to play, if not Carol. What was it like when it came to an end? It was, I think, harder for the actors who'd been in it for the entire run of the show. That was like an end of an era for them, And also they become more like family than work colleagues. So I know that Trisha Penrose had, struggled a lot with that, and especially when Derek died, because they were very good friends. It was, she grew up on that show, I suppose, matured on it anyway. It's, how are we told? Well, I had an inkling because I was having a chat with Roger Bamford, one of the directors, about this was at the end of my second year, doing a third year. And I was like, I don't know if I'll do a third year or not. This is before I knew that they were sending me to Australia. Because I just get itchy feet and I want to do something new and I don't want to get stuck in something too long. And I said, ideally, I'd love to be the last nurse, And the producer was there at the same time. Well, oh, well, that might happen or something. And I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. And there'd been slight rumours, I seem to remember. And then it was I think we found out it was leaked in the paper. I remember us being somewhere on top of the moors in the lunch bus and somebody bringing out a newspaper saying Heartbeat's been axed. And that's when I knew, like, definitely that's what had happened. Yeah, but I did have an inkling it was going to happen because of what this producer had said to me. What sort of reaction to Carol? All positive as far as I know. I think they keep all the bad fan mail that you get. I mean, I'm obviously not going to be everyone's cup of tea. You can't please everybody all the time, but yeah, I think it was. I hope it was positive. Who knows? As far as I know, it was. Oh, thank you, darling. That's very nice of you to say so. How would you describe her in 3 words? Independent, resilient, and kind. Oh, someone's ringing me. No, go away. What did you get to keep at the end? What did I get to keep at the end? You know, normally on jobs, I quite like to do. Oh God, not the Land Rover. No, I bloody wish. I do like to try and keep something from each job, just as a little memento. I don't nick them. I just ask props if I can have. But there wasn't anything that I kept from Heartbeat, weirdly. I mean, one of the photographs that was in Carol's flat was of actually me and my sisters in Goathland when we were kids feeding the sheep. So I have that. No, not the uniform. What would I do with the uniform? Let's not go there. No, not the uniform. In fact, I donated in one of the scenes where we were going, I can't remember, we were going to a party or a ball or something like that, and I had a fur cape thing. That was actually my mother's, and then I donated it to wardrobe because I thought Mum would like it to be on the telly rather than stuck. I was never going to wear it, stuck at the back of a wardrobe somewhere. So they got that. They got something from me. Yeah. We got given a Heartbeat, bag and Heartbeat. What else did we get? A fleece or something like that. A hat. So yeah. Annie's asking, what is your fondest memory? Oh, hi, Annie. My fondest memory is, oh God, there's so many. I think working with like one of my best mates, Rupert, getting to do, it's not often you get to do, when you're at drama school with people and they go off and do different things. And it's rare that you actually get to work with your mates. So working with one of my best mates was really great. Yeah. What do you miss most? My Land Rover. My Land Rover. I wish I could have my bloody Land Rover. I literally, here in Australia, you see Land Rovers here, and I go, oh, God, really want one. I said to my partner, I said, when we get another one, can we get a Land Rover? And my dad, weirdly, used to, when we were kids, he used to, he was a very good engineer and mechanic, and he would strip down Land Rovers and then do them up commission. People commission him to do, I don't know, specific things to Land Rovers, and he would strip them down and build them back up again. And that's what he did for a job. So yeah, I've been brought up with Land Rovers. How well do you know Carol? A few questions. Oh God, no. Scored out of 5? Oh Jesus. I mean, this is years ago. I have the memory of a sieve. How many episodes did you do? Oh Jesus, I don't know. An awful lot. Awful lot. No idea. 71? Did I? Gosh, well done. Next. I should remember that. It's my year of my birth. What was the name of Carol's brother? Oh God, I can't remember. But I remember the actor. What was the name of my brother? I can't remember. Isn't that terrible? I only had 2 episodes with him. Danny, of course it was. Thank you. Terrible. Oh God, this is embarrassing. Next. What was the... Come on. No idea. It was blue. That's all I remember. I know I should know. Why should I know? I don't know. Don't know the reg. I don't think I even looked at the reg. I was more bothered about hitting my mark. What else? You're aghast, aren't you, that I don't know the answers to these questions. How did Carol figure out the mother was fake? Oh, something about, because she gave me a teddy bear and she said, I gave you this and it was a lie. I caught her in a lie. Is that right? Correct. Yes. Huzzah. I got one right. Honestly, I'll do a play and I'll know the lines that I've been doing for 3 months. The next day, it's like my brain wipes it and I will not remember even my first line of the play. As soon as I know I don't need it anymore. What was the name of the man she... God. I don't know. John. Jeffrey. Robert. Don't know. Frank? An awful name. 1 out of 5. To be honest, I'm quite proud of that because I know what my memory is like. Thanks. Do I get a prize? Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much for having me on. And, what a feat this is. I'm on the other side of the world. This is quite amazing technology. We did okay, didn't we? We sorted out in the end. We had a few missed connections, but we got there in the end. Resilient. Exactly. Resilient and keep persevering. Poor typing. At least you can remember your name. So weird having a one-sided conversation. Oh, for taking Mart. You're very welcome. Thank you for letting me take Mart. Part, yes. I realised that's what you were typing. Well, have a lovely... Named and shamed. Sorry. Thank you, everyone, for questions and for listening in. And thank you for having me. And shall I let you go? We're ending, aren't we? I can't see you. You're frozen with a half smile. Yes, we are. Yes. There we go. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. How do I get out of here? What do I do? Let you know when yes, please do let me know. All righty, I'm going to go have my supper now. And you're just about to start your day, so have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.
Well, that's all we have time for in this week's episode of the TV Heartbeat podcast. I've been Lee Jones and my producer is Kieran Reid. Don't forget to tell your friends so they can join us in the snug next time, and also don't forget to follow us on the socials. Until next time, goodbye.